Good morning. Good morning, I'm Jason, and welcome back to the morning ritual for guitar growth, where we talk about breath tuning and chromatic mechanical style exercises for the morning. This is a 1-hour session, typically. Good morning, Kevin. Glad to see you this morning. Good morning, Sky Animates. Good morning. Good morning. And just working through the morning, which this is the closer of the week. So we have some very fun stuff coming up. There is a continuation at the end of this section, at the end of this session this morning. There's a continuation of where we left off yesterday, from whence we came yesterday, from cycle 4. We're doing Root 6 and Root 5, cycle 4 diatonic harmony. So we're studying sevenths today. Today we will complete the dominant 7 and minor 7 flat 5 chords through the cycle. And we will likely end up, if we have time, reviewing what we started yesterday. So, good morning. And without further ado, let's go ahead and tune up. This is a little shifty here this morning. That's pretty close, huh? That's good enough for A string. We've got the A string going. This is what we're tuning to. This is A440, and if you hear a click, if you do notice a click in the background, that's the metronome which runs all of our, that basically governs all of our morning time together. So it's 60 beats per minute. It's a constant value, which we grow to admire over time. And we usually subdivide that beat into 4 threes, 2 threes, 1 attack per beat, 2, 3 attacks per beat, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 attacks per beat. Maybe sometimes if we're feeling spicy, maybe we get up to 9 this year or more. You never know where we're going. So Bjorn, good morning. Good morning. Great to have you here. Great to see you. Good morning, Mr. Tortorello. Good morning. Robbie Smith. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Guitar for Everyone. Good morning. And thank you for being here and supporting guitar practitioners all over the planet. It's I'll tell you exactly, as we set our intentions while we start tuning, one of my intentions sort of every day and on a subcurrent is to really deeply experience every tone. And sometimes life grabs me by the bullhorns and it just drives for a while, and I get excited about new things. I get excited, and sometimes that trumps my interest in being right here in the moment. So one of my long-term intentions is to be here really enjoying and deepening my experience with every note. And I think if that happens, if that resonates for my person, and if I can maintain that connectivity, I think it will help. It might help others be more interested in listening as well. Okay, communication in many cases is not a race. So start with tuning up. Here we go. And thank you, if you're here, for smashing that like button, and welcome again. So if you're here, grab your guitar, let's tune up together, and let's work on some breathing and some posture. That's the A we'll be using. And I'll just go through and rough in the tuning. It shifts microtonally overnight. That one's pretty close. It sounds in, doesn't it? Let's double check it with some harmonics. Wow, I think I'm getting better at tuning my guitar. I think this is really helping me just be more in tune and more easily approach the, where my tonal memory remembers these intervals as being like from the low E to the A, 81, what is it, 88.1 or what is that frequency? What is low E? Raul must know this. Are you on, Raul? Good morning, Raul, good morning. And we get Melissa. Oh, hey. Yeah, Melissa. Genuine temporary entrant. Alabama, Johnny Mine and Johnny Milner. Good morning from Alabama. Yeah, right on. This is going nuts, right? Jeez, GD Dias. Good morning. I see the flag. My glasses are not permitting me to see the whole icon. Nikolai, good morning. Good morning. Play at least. I'm not. That's funny. You're a funny fella. A funny person. Ron's Life Journey. Hello. Hey, that's a cool name. That's a cool tag for YouTube channel. Ron, great. Thank you for the compliment. Monique. Oh, Monique. Yeah, good. Glad to have you back. And Raul. So, what is that low E string reference? That reference tone, the frequency of a standard tuning, low E is what, 88.1 hertz or 81? I forget. 1E and a 2. Here we go. We're all in tune, and we're all breathing. We're all breathing. That's the important thing this morning. Simple things. Keep it simple. So fingers 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to be painful for some of us and not fast enough for others. But the tempo and the breakdown is just where we want to be. Let's go ahead and mix this with triplets and see if we can throw a wrench into the system. 1, 2, 3, 1 and a 2, 2, dum, ba ga da ga bum gun gun da 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 bum beam boom ba ga da. Let's get through this. See if we can't hurt ourselves off the gate. All right, 1 and a 2E, triplet, triple, triplet, triplet. Here we go. Not too bad. I watch football, yeah. Like European football. Sunderland's pretty good. I was there when the last year of Roker Park, they were commemorating it. I don't know if anybody else here knows about Roker Park. Instead of my playing, I love all of them. You know, it's anyone doing the high end stuff. Anyone doing the high end stuff. I wouldn't want to. I walked through Leeds one night after we get all, you get to walk around town, and I got back to my flat with my mates, and Jim looked at me and he said, "You didn't wear that shirt walking through Leeds, did you?" And I had no idea. Like, I wore my Sunderland jersey walking all the way home through Leeds, a couple miles right through city, and he said, "Don't do that again. Not a good idea." So just a yank walking through town. 1 and a 2. Let's try 5s and 3s. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, bugga dagga dag, ding 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 dagga dagga dag. It'll be a nice call and response rhythmic pattern. So it's a way to spice this up. 1, 2, da. So 1, 2, 3, da 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 ding ding da da. Here we go. Chili Spice. I gotcha. Did I miss some news? Sean, good to hear that. Thank you for the compliment. I'm just going to shift back into this 4 attacks per beat. I guess 6 attacks per beat. It's Friday. Let's let horses run. All right, fingers. Good morning, Dan. Yo, what's going on this morning? Fingers 1 and 2 on frets 10 and 12. We'll keep up this 16th note triplets. Maybe we'll just jump back down to 4s. Let's do that. I'm jumping ahead. I'm all over the place this morning, and I really should be focusing on the task at hand. See, I get excited, and sometimes I have to, I can't think about footballing right now. Part of this journey is to set my intention, so I'm going to go ahead and set my intention for this morning's practice, and you can go ahead and set yours too if you'd like. It can be about today's session, it can be about if you need to allocate a little more energy to some life things happening. It could be anything you set for an intention is good. Come back to that time and again. We'll reference that. Fingers 2 and 3 and 4, 10 and 12. Here we go. Iris, good morning. I love the way you play. I love the way you play. Keep it up. Just sub. Thank you for your sub, Iris. I appreciate that. That's a really great compliment to receive. It just feels great to hear that kind of compliment, And none of us receive those kinds of compliments enough in our days, do we? It's always, Michigan sandwich. So maybe what we do, it's just, put the stuff in the middle, the good stuff in the middle. But I think what happens is, a lot of us, I think, we have developed an intrinsic motivators that keep us sort of moving in dry times. We have these little seasons of faith that we can exercise. Fingers 2 and 3 on 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, yeah. And this is, irregardless of whether you're a country guitar player, you're, a telly player, a super strat player, an old school strat player, a shredder, the RG series, or if you're a Kiesel sponsored artist, you're doing stuff similar to this every day anyway. It doesn't really matter where we're going or who we are. I think it matters that we spend the seat time doing the things that keep our fingers and our bodies going, and that's important. And it keeps our, some of us are here to be campfire guitar players. Some of us are here to just maintain neuroplasticity as we elegantly age. Some of us are here to hit the road, get the band in the van, and just book tours and just go and go and go for 3 months at a time. It's really like it's literally that easy. So 1 E and a 2 and a D E and a faux. So the definition of entrepreneur I've heard, is the one who assumes the risk of the venture. So, you know, it's, if you're not prepared to fail, Mr. Neil Young talks about that, right? You've heard me say this story before. I know many of you have heard me share this. He's referring to regarding songwriting. He talks about having to be okay with failure, you know, because it's songwriting is can be a challenging business. You know, anything can be a challenging business. Getting in the car and driving to the office can be a challenging business. You know, you never know when the manifold's going to blow, you know, the tire's going to pop or what, you know, just never know. So those challenges, that wilderness really is always there, staring us down. We might not know it, but we might not remember that every day. Fingers 2 and 4, stretch it out. Fingers, frets 9 and 12. 2E and a T-E and a Fo. And we might not know it, but that wilderness is there at any moment, ready to wipe us out as soon as we stop paying attention. So that's kind of like my circumtangential way to get back to, you know, really appreciating every note that I'm playing and to be right here in the moment of every note. Now, if I wanted to be perfectly involved, I would, you know, cease discussion. Good. And, you know, I'm feeling like there's a stretch coming up. We're almost ready to stretch. Two more shapes to practice to run down, and we'll get to a shape. We'll get to a stretch. Don't you worry. 1E and 2 fingers, 1 and 3, 9 and 12. Go. Blue Zoos, Briars. I'm in a church band. Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. That's what we're intended to do, is praise, right? That's the harmony of the spheres, the harmonious mundi. The music is a ministry, right? It's a ministry. Congratulations, that's a wonderful situation to find yourself in. I'm envious of that. That's great. Well, envy's probably a sin, so I probably won't, you know, I'm going to congratulate you and be supportive of what you're doing. So if you have any questions about anything, or you want to share some of your thoughts about what it's like being in a church band, feel free, man. But I'd like to try to keep all of the commentary roughly associated with, you know, the live chats here. It's a banger of a live chat, and it's just a magic place to be, especially with the guys with the wrenches, the blue wrenches. Some of us have been here since the beginning. We're doing this every weekday morning. It starts finger 1. Let's do 1 and 4 on frets. Let's try like 9 and 13 today. So we have a 3 fret spread between fingers 1 and 4. So 1E and a 2 and a T-E and a 4. And you know, we have been doing this from the beginning of the year. And we will be every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, you know, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Whether it's standard time or daylight time. This is daylight time right now. So we're doing this all year long. I'm going to be here all year long working on this. You can see that I'm going to take that first video that I did, measure my technique against the last video that I'm going to do, and I'm going to see what 260 hours of morning ritual does for me over the span of this whole year. So we're going to witness. Can I get a witness? We're going to witness growth, whether it's spiritually, socially, family, guitarly. You know, hopefully we're here as guitar practitioners, hoping for the growth, you know, committing to the growth. Right. So let's do a little stretch. Here we are. 1 E and a 2, 15 clicks, and a 4. Great time to breathe. Also a great time for me to look at comments that I've been missing. Can you play any Beatles or Zeppelin? Oh, hey, are you still here? Somebody said Beatles and Zeppelin. I say yes. So if you're still here, let me know. Joining this morning from vacation in Florida. Are you East Coast or West Coast? Are you sunrise or sunset? So we're doing the old 15 clicks down. Great to have you here, Jill. Stuart Mill, a lot of new faces here this morning, gang. A lot of new faces. This is great. Blue Zeus Briars. I've been playing for 3 months, so I am still a beginner, or you know, I'm not sure. You know, I think that could be for me that could be as far as I wanted to go, and then I move on to the next thing. So I guess it's important to, let's talk about goals, okay? Let's talk about goals for a minute. So here's a quick thing that I have all of my students do for decades, right? Well, I say decades, I don't want to age myself. But I have taught thousands of in-person lessons, you know, thousands of in-person people, you know, thousands of in-person, and stretch those shoulders back, get those shoulders stretched back to counter hunching over the guitar. Stretch all of that stuff out. Oh, that feels great this morning. But intentions real quick. So we have goals, 3 short-term goals and 3 long-term goals. So we have 1, 2, 3. What do I want to do in 3 months? Do I want to know how to do scales, chords, play a couple songs? What do I like to do in 3 years? Do I want my number 1? Am I still playing the guitar in 5 years? Right. So number 3, 2. Am I playing in a band? In 5 years. So do I have any a list of songs ready to play? So I'm playing and touring regularly, or open micing, or you know, entertaining the family at gatherings or friends. You know, so that's up to you. I think that the goal set is really super important. So 3 short-term goals and 3 long-term goals. Whoosh, right? So think about that. Good question. Great question. I'm sorry to miss some of these live chats. New England. Let's see. Joining this morning from vacation in Florida. Congrats, Jill. New England. Hello, Jill Bourgeois. Welcome. Mango the Tuxedo Cat. Hey, long time. Yes, it has been a spell, hasn't it? It's been a hot minute. I want to play for as long as humanly possible can. I understand that. Everybody here understands that for sure. So we've got to just, I'd love to kind of hang out and just talk. Hey, blues, I think we all feel like beginners during practice. Absolutely. Happy accidents, those are great too. Eddie Van Halen fan there, Bernard, Bernie, good. Congrats, Blue. One more band. I am. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we'll start with changing the posture. Let's get that posture dialed in. And how am I going to do this? I'm going to do this way. You won't see my picking hand as easily, but you will see what you need to see, I believe. If you can't see what you need to see, just let me know in the... So, I think my E string's out, just, nope. Nope. No, we're good. So we're graduated to 3 fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a done 2. Here we go. 2, 3, and 4 on 10, 11, and 12. Only this time we're using a stretch on the 4th finger. Yeah, we throw a little wrench in there. If you're here, if you are here and you like what's going on, if you wouldn't mind, smash that like button. You know, any little bit helps. That's a good, easy way to let us know that you're liking what's going on, and I'm glad that there's no, is there a thumbs down? There must be, no, there is a thumbs down on this one. So I guess you're free to kind of like dislike it too if you want. So I don't want to just try to coerce you into liking the thing. But if you feel like you need to dislike something, you go right ahead. We would prefer that you become a liker. Well, gee, that's great, Iris. I really appreciate that. That's wonderful. We're growing a little bit at a time, and when we started this live stream, I wanted to say that it's not really for everyone, right? And it's obviously not necessarily that interesting for non-guitar players. People who don't play guitar might though, they might want to show up and watch the guitar and enjoy just a chill morning, just relaxing start, you know, roll in easy, you know, not too much duress going on. Let's do 1, 2, 3, and we'll stretch the third finger this time. Let's try that. We haven't done this one yet. We could stretch the first finger back, but let's stretch the second finger, okay? Starting at 9, 10, and 12. 1 E and 2, Marco, what's going on? I thought you cut that nail playing a mandolin, but it was a kitchen utensil. It was. It was a mandolin slicing the old jalapenos. Got a pretty good batch of Serranos in the house right now on stock, so we've been putting those puppies to work. Had a couple of really nice curries this week. Just wonderful stuff. So many fine things to appreciate in life and just to be thankful for. You know what I mean? So if you're just tuning in, this is the morning, welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. And I'm Jason here with Jason Carey Guitar. And I'm doing this live stream every weekday morning, the morning ritual for guitar growth, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time this time of year. And we are going to continue along. I'll be here all year. Good Lord willing, I'll be here all year long doing this. So you pop in and out whenever you feel like you need to get a shot of something good, you know, something good and positive in the morning, something different, something exciting, invigorating, inspiring, hopefully, and then, you know, take what you need and leave the rest. Okay, 1 E and 2 fingers, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we made it. 9, 10, 11, and 12. My friend's mom makes the best curry from India. Oh, yeah, she was amazed. I liked her chili. Yeah, that and a little naan goes really well. You know, the samosas are great. Oh man, there's so many great chickpea curry. We sat down. Long story. So another curry fan, curry. I learned how to say curry. My first exposure to curry was a very, very memorable one. It was Vindaloo, and it was, I forget the name of the club or the restaurant. I nearly didn't survive that one. But it was good. It was a beautiful experience. Now I've been hooked on it. Just love the lifestyle, love the thought that, you know, food is God, you know, just putting that stuff in the temple. You are what you eat. Really, really great approach to life. So now I'm just coming back up. I'm coming all the way back up to the place from whence we came. And then we're going to finish on position 9, which is one right here. There we are. We're going to keep going. When we get to the top, I'll extend the 4th finger, and we'll begin our 4th finger stretch sequence. just nice and easy. I'm playing, oh yeah, earlier this week I wanted to talk about the metronome, and I wanted to talk about what it means to play, for me, to play with the metronome. You notice my right hand, my picking hand sequencing is I'm suturing those tones because I'm going at a tempo where I can maintain quality of tone. So I will, to the best of my ability, but I want to talk about for a minute the metronome. Have you guys noticed I haven't used the word really yet this morning? So here's what happens. I'm looking at the click as these little explosions, these tiny little micro bursts of power, of energy. It's like the Big Bang, and everything between that Big Bang and the next click, the entire universe happens. So there's so much potential between each note, between each click. You can still hear it happening, right? It's still there. It's eternal. So we're going back to do the kickstand. Let's do the kickstand. Let's get that first finger back, kick back a little bit. So 1 on finger 8, 1, 10, 11, 12. We've got, stick around because we've got the next cycle 4 sequence coming right up in about, I don't know, 8 minutes or so. Dominant 7, minor 7, flat 5s. It's going to be fun, so you don't want to miss it. Stick around. 1 E and a 2, 8, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stretching the 1. Good. I knew you could do it. Notice the dynamic shift because it is a guitar. It's not a canon. I mean, it could be a canon. I mean, I've heard some bourgeois guitars that are like literally cannons, and then they're super pianissimo. And the dynamic range of the guitar shall be explored during practice sessions. That way, when we put it into performance, when we put this instrument, the extension of the self, into a performance sequence, we will have been familiarized with the performance dynamic range of the instrument, which is an extension of the self. It is so amazing that anyone is able to do anything like this. This is just short of a miracle, likely. You know, think about all of the things that have happened from the beginning of time to now, to antiquity, to now, to get guitars in our hands, you know, get guitars that are like marketable, guitars that are distributed widely, and with great simplicity through the use of logistics and shipping. Just amazing to think about all of the problems that were solved to get this guitar in my hands. Pretty wild, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Hey Mark, yeah, that's that space between the notes is like, I think I'm going to write about it. So I'm going to write about it. The space between notes. Yeah. let's take a look at, I've been playing the guitar since I was, 4, I don't know. There were always guitars laying around the house like this, and it usually starts like this, where you keep a guitar laying around. A little beater guitar like this. It's funny, right? A little beater guitar that the kids can just kind of grab on and then sit down, and then you put it on your lap, and then you wonder as a youngster, like, oh. So you could just experiment with the guitar. You don't have to have any knowledge of anything. What happens when you break the frets, break the string on a fret? Oh, the pitch changes. Wow, that's pretty exciting. What happens if I just touch the string lightly and then pluck it? What happens if I do this or that? There's a whole world of discovery, or playtime, the thing that comes before the sign. So that's important, super important. Like the thing that comes before this, the thing before the sign. Super important, just playtime. So that's why discovery-based learning and discovery-based sessions like this, it's okay to go off on tangents. And I give myself a little bit of a hardship because I'm really supposed to be focusing on drilling down these morning rituals during this time. But it is okay to go out and on these discovery methods, where you do ask the questions while you're engaged in some other sort of mechanical or programmatic improvement cycle. So it's there for us. And if we decide, if we have the yearning to go off trail and bushwhack our way into looking at this turquoise pool of water or turquoise river, then, which no one else has ever seen. So asking those questions is what got Mr. Kurt Rosenwinkel to where he got to, in the 90s. He was sort of like right on the fringe of the guitar world. Pat Metheny, these guys ask, these gals like Mimi Fox, there's so many burning guitar players that ask the big questions. So those are good things to do, in my opinion, right? Ask the question. So let's start 1E and a 2E and a TE and a 4E and a 9, 10, 11, and 12 diagonal. And then we're just kind of, you get the idea. It's alternate picking. Could be a nice sweep picking exercise. Down 3, up 3, down 3, up 3, down 3, up 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, up. It's down 4. Up 4, then switch. But it's not an individual pick for each one. It's one continuous uninterrupted downstroke and then followed by one continuous uninterrupted upstroke. And that's how we get good at sweep picking, folks. This is the exercise. There's no other way to just kind of like really get it. Let me just switch over here. We'll start over again because I really need to work this anyway. So let's move this screen here. So 1E and a 2, watch my picking hand go, middle strings. It's a constant, it doesn't go through and stop on one string and then start again and stop. It just plans. I don't plan on stopping. I go through, pluck a string and I go through quickly. This is pluck a string and go through slowly and calculate it to the next string, whether we're going through a downstroke or an upstroke. And then that sort of becomes this monster, this mess. Right, it just becomes that jumbled mess after a while. So you can do that. I like to use this as an alternate picking sequence. And I'm paying careful attention to, I'm bopping some notes, which is okay. I'm not going to hold it against myself, but I am going to be aware that I want longer tones on the bass and on the top. hung a fingernail. Don't get the fingers too close to the lion's cage because it will bite. Or everything is just staccato as short as possible. Yeah, okay, that's pretty close. I think we can take a look at this new one too. I like to do these minor 7 arpeggios. All right, Dr. Shriram Mishra, longer tones on the bass, got it. Yeah, or in the middle, let's try the middle. Everything we need is right in our back. Everything we need is in our own backyards, right? So, use what we have, benefit, shift those, permutate those to develop exercises for the purposes of specialization in our own areas of interest, right? So that's what I would recommend doing, something like that to that effect. All right. And if you're just tuning in, I'm just going to ask if you wouldn't mind smash that like button or double tap the screen if you're on a mobile viewport. Certainly appreciate the messaging and support that way. Love it. Definitely appreciate that. It's a heartfelt, and I'll do the sign of fidelity here. So it's a heartfelt thing. And I, definitely appreciate all of those likes. And certainly appreciate all of sometimes it's a little bit risky. We can feel a little risk in communicating in a live chat in a public forum. But I wanted you to know I appreciate that too. And also wanted to let you know that if you do enjoy what's going on, if you wanted to come back in and just take a deeper look, maybe watch it in halftime or whatever, we do post all of these morning rituals for guitar growth as on-demand content. So you could go back and watch these for free. And you could dial in at, like, let's say 45 minutes, we're going to start with our cycle 4 sequencing. And you can also, we save the live chat, we keep the live chat intact because I think it feels good to feel like we're in a live session. All right. Oh, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that. Man. So here's like the Kevins and the Bernards and the Anthonys on this live chat. Like, Kevin has been here since before the beginning, right? So he's just a super. He's just on this. He's a fingerstyle guitarist. So when you see us starting to do fingerstyle stuff, it's with his person in mind. Because he's just a treasure for this live chat. So it would be really cool if we could all give him a thank you and give Anthony Tortorello a thank you, because they've really, and then Raul they've all been here. There's so many that are, but there are a few who've been here from the beginning and maybe even before the beginning. Just thank you so much for just contributing so much goodness to this effort, right? Never imagined that it would even be possible. Supcoops. Jason, can you answer my question above? Hello, sir. I'm playing songs on the guitar and say I find the key of the song and can play. And just it's a good time to stretch. So I'll stretch now while we're doing this. Thank you for the question. Thank you for reaching out. In guitar playing song, all right. Hello, sir. In guitar, in playing songs on the guitar and say, find the key of the song. Can I just play the scale in that key? So basically, will me just be a single note playing? Also, can you tell me a scale, please? Oh, the calculation is where, yeah. The calculation takes time. You know, when we're learning number theory early on, and when we become advancing, when we become MIT students, and we're learning advancing number, you know, advancing our imaginations and understanding of number theory, it's all new, right? And so we want to remain in a constant state of new. If we're not feeling like we're new and kind of right up against the threshold all the time, I often look at that as, you know, I understand that it's okay to be content with where I am in life and just enjoy the works of God's creation. I understand that. But I also have this inner mounting flame that keeps me personally moving forward to find the threshold of what I'm doing. You know, and whether or not I have gaps in knowledge, that doesn't matter, because we know through education that all things come in time, and that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. We know this. It's been proven generation after generation after generation. So I don't worry anymore about knowledge gaps, because if I need to know something, then I will come to know it. But it's also fun for me to chase the melody. So chasing the melody, and we'll talk about that as we flip the switch now. We're beyond and flipping the switch, right? I play acoustic. I see all of this great stuff. Damien, great. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Robbie. Thanks, crew. Friends, Jason's correct. Wouldn't happen without you. It's great that you're here, Robbie. I appreciate it. Okay, tomorrow morning I wanted to announce that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, there's another installment of Ted Green's Chord Chemistry ready to set to release. It will be a live release, so I'll be in the chats with you. And again on Sunday morning. So I'll see you both days this weekend if you wanted to make time. They're about, 30 minutes a piece. So they're not, but we are walking page by page, word by word, and chord by chord through Ted Green's Chord Chemistry. And that's a free session too. So maybe I'll see you over there tomorrow and Sunday. 9 a.m., okay? Izzy, good morning, Izzy. What's going on, bro? Has Denim Dennis or Anthony Tortorello sent you any files to use as background music for your videos on your fishing channel yet? If he has, I'd love to see the videos that he's doing, and if you are looking for a certain kind of feel for music, let us know. I'm kind of interested. All right, let's take a look. Answer to my question, Supercoops, Jamaican gospel. Okay, answer to the question. Hello, sir, I'm playing. We were talking about scales, right? Is that what the scales? Okay, yep, let's take a look. I'll do this, I'll talk about it through this C dominant, okay? So let's say that I'm playing, never mind, I'm going to just say that this is a song in itself. And I'm working on the bass note and then playing the chord first, the secondly. I'm unfurling the chord. So I hear the bass note, I have a foundation. I dug the foundation, I have all the mechanical work, the big tractors and all of those diesel engines moved out. The concrete guys come in, the crews come in, they pour the foundation. So that's what this is musically. It's the equivalent of not building a house on sand. Okay? So foundation. And then all of the other notes above it determine the quality and the sonority of the experience, of the harmonic experience. If you want to read Dave Matthews, he wrote a whole textbook on harmonic experience and like the 5-limit lattice, and it's very deep and very, very challenging. Matthew, M-E-I-U, I think at the end of his name, so David Matthew. You can take a look at his harmonic experience. You like it. I mean, you might not like it. I mean, I don't know. But it's a big book. It's a textbook, and it's an effort. It's a monumental effort. And I don't know how much it would help anybody, but here. But it is, it could. So we have the root note and then the chord, and then I also have an arpeggio and a scale that goes along with the chord, right? So I have a chord and a scale. So the only difference between a chord and a scale is that the chord is with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then do. Let's do this correctly. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, right? The only difference between a chord, where the notes are frozen as suspended in time together, a chord is a scale or elements of the scale. A chord and a scale are the same thing, potentially, or melody, the same thing. But one is absent from time. One has been there from time immemorial. And the gift that we have as musicians or guitar practitioners is to channel through this thing we call the continuum of time. Okay? So we break down time. We break the day down into 3 equal pieces. 8 hours for our usual vocations. 8 hours for rest and refreshment, and 8 hours of devotion to deity. That's kind of like how we do it, right? It's supposed to be charity or whatever. So observing God's creation. But time, and however we break down time, I've got a 60 seconds, 60 beats per minute here. And I'm going to take that same chord and I'm going to unfreeze it and then create one note in succession by another note. So the act of playing a chord and the act of playing melody is really it's all the same thing, but one is affected, or one we can place our own expertise, our own internal commentary over it, by the way we interpret time. So time is really important. Time is of the utmost importance, right? Especially for comping these chords. So one, I could play the bass note first, or I could play the chord all at once, or I could play the chord on every quarter note, and then let it ring for 1 quarter note, and let it ring, or I could pluck it, and then come off of the chord. I'm not choking with my my picking hand, but I'm choking by removing the fingers. I'm not removing the fingers from the strings, because that would sound like, that would introduce noise, and we don't want that in the conversation. Right, so that's what we're doing today, and then we can each chord has a scale that relates to it, and each multiple scales that relate to it. So we can make reference to a thing that advancing guitarists might like to call the chord scale. So it's really all one thing. I've heard, you know, really advanced guitar players imagine, like, they talk about the guitar neck as a point of singularity, of infinite density, or, you know, it's one thing, one cohesive thing. It's just one thing. And I just, you know, trying to wrap my mind around, like, how many hours is this guitar practitioner sat around and practiced the guitar to reach that point? Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit like, can I do single note playing instead of knowing chords? So we can do that. So here's another thing, for example, a good place to talk about this. We have minor pentatonic. So if I know the root note is C, I could play C minor pentatonic. I could also play C major pentatonic. I could also play an altered form of C major pentatonic. I could use, you know, not to get too off the deep end here, but I could also use the C Dorian mode or C Mixolydian mode, or so here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flat 7. So 1, or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. Instead of ti, do, we have te, which is a whole step underneath the root note. Do, re, mi, sol, la, te, do. So that's really what happens. So stick around here if you like what's going on. I really love those questions. So we'll just continue to get through the program. So we're working on two shapes. Root note, flat 7, 3, and 5. Thank you so much for the question. Root note, 5, flat 7, and 3 on the root 5 chord. So those are the two shapes that we are working here. So we'll go through and play the bass note first, and then the chord. Bass note, and then the chord. E, A, we're going up a fourth. So 4, and then up a 4, and then we're basically reducing the 4 sometimes. So what I mean by that is C, if we continue to go up a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, whole, whole, whole. So a whole, and then a half, that's a 4. Here comes the bride, dun, dee, 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 right? Mendelssohn's Wedding March. So, and then we have, oh, that's not a fourth, that's a third. B string's 2.5 step lower on the guitar, so we need to adjust for that. Right, so the 4 is everywhere on the guitar, but I want to keep those chords on root 6 and root 5. We could play root 4, but I want that B flat 7 to be on root 6. So we're going to octave reduce that down here. So the cycle 4 looks like, which one time looked like all of those cycles just going through, but they're getting octave reduced. I mean, I can't play a chord on the guitar on top of this. I don't have more strings, right? So I'm working on just getting that C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, or, and then B or C flat, E, A, 7, D7, G7, and then C. And that's a little joke from yesterday. So let's get to the minor 7 flat 5 because we're getting ready to go. We're taking a look at the root note, the flat 7, the flat 3, and the flat 5, and then we're going to the root 5, flat 7, and flat 3. Okay, good. So you have that ready to go if you want to come back and look at those. We've actually gone through those things. We completed the mission for today, and I really thank you for being here. Love to see the new faces. Thank you so much. Deep thanks for those who are really getting behind supporting the channel. Definitely love the support and the help. So could not do it without you. So thank you, and especially the big guy up there. All right. So thanks everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again tomorrow morning and Sunday at 9 a.m. And yeah. Until we meet again, be back. I will be back in this format with you on Monday morning at same time, 7:30. We'll see you then. And until we meet again, I wish you happy picking. If I can find the right button.